IceColeBrew, and we are being co-casted for this Car Soccer City Elite lower quarterfinals matchup between GNG, Carnage, and Torrent Swarm. And of course, joining in with me is going to be RoyalT. RoyalT, welcome on in.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun...
How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I've been looking forward to this matchup all day. As soon as I got the heads up and finished up work, I was running through and getting us set up for this duo cast that we're going to have going on tonight. And RoyalT, you've been able to broadcast a couple of the matches yourself as well. With Torrent Swarm and GNG Carnage both having faced off once before, what do you expect to see what happened? How did they get to this point?
Honestly, like... a lot of team chemistry. I feel like the comms are, pretty strong with these two teams, as I know they're pretty solid. GNG Carnage has fought very hard to get here, same with Torrent Swarm, so I'm excited to see both these teams. Same as everybody else, they've just really given it their all and they've put in the time to be here, so I'm hoping, a lot of like physicality here, the demos, bumps, smart plays, and good game sense.
That is right. And what's fascinating is these two teams have faced off before. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was actually a very close matchup where Torrent Swarm was able to take them out in the end in match 6, GNG Carnage losing 2-3. And then looking at the playoff lineup too, Carnage knocked lowers early by Militia, now instead trying to climb their way back up, while Torrent Swarm had a Silver War go on, and then they were thrown down into the lower, so hopefully they'll be able to get that repeat matchup coming up next. But as I remind folks, this is going to be a best of 5 for this lower quarterfinals. So RoyalT, with that in mind, let's go ahead and send these players and let's have them get it on.
Yes.
There we go. Just letting folks know to get on in here. All right. So with that in mind, it's going to be a best of 5. So you got a little bit of wiggle room going into this, RoyalT, and it's going to be a tight matchup overall. But I'm so excited to see, who do you think is going to take the first goal here?
I think GNG might have the first goal. We'll see, though.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
That first aggression run, as we have GNG Carnage over in the blue. My logo's not coming in, and Torrent Swarm over in the orange. RoyalT, let's go ahead and start that breakdown of the action while I quickly fix the overlay.
Yeah. Then we got Tyrant over here with a touch off the back wall. Over to Kite, sends it back to the corner. Tyrant going for the shot, and it's shut down by JD Mayo. In comes Crypto, though, before he gets taken out with the demo, which we were just talking about before this series. Breaking him out very, very soon.
Quick fire action as JD Mayo sends that ball upfield. Tyrant and Crypto working in tandem to get that save, and so that ball's going to drop down. And Kaitik gonna find an opening, sends it out of the corner. I love watching 3v3, especially at the GC1 level of these players, as that's Alpha Dog off the bar, will be denied at the gate. It's gonna be JD Mayo trying to add a little mustard onto the play, but sadly will come up short. No mayonnaise for him in this moment. It's gonna be Mayo cross up between Tyrant faking them out, ducks down low, but it's not gonna be enough. As we just get close to the 90-second mark. First demo providing that opening, but I feel like Torrent Swarm is really trying to rely on the long ball in order to take control of the pitch.
Yeah, that's definitely, especially you kind of have to get a little bit lucky with some of your clears and everything, because these are very tight-knit teams, so you can't get too close to them, and you don't always have a lot of wiggle room with them. They are very, I want to say action-packed, but very, challengey, very on it, just like that. Alpha already going for that challenge. Money trying to get that challenge for Tyrant there. So, very back-to-back with challenges and not letting, players move too much. That's why demos are going to be very helpful in this series.
And that high pressure, aggressive play style, something I truly enjoy seeing, as Alpha Dog's gonna show Crypto how it's done. Sends that ball upfield. Tyrant tries to walk away. Instead, Crypto trying to make a super dog out of himself, wants to break away, but Alpha Dog will reign supreme. Instead is Kiptic controls the ball for a split second, then forgets his keys at the door. Has to scramble back on defense. Ball dropped down center. Alpha looking for the opening. Tyrant soft touch. And it's going to be the help of Kick getting that one out of the way.
Almost another shot. Crypto getting there. Money with the challenge, keeping it active on the offensive side here. K is going to be taking that out before Mayo turns it right around. Tyrant on it already, and Mayo with another demo, clearing up some of that defensive pressure. Mayo going for the attack. Tyrant is up, gets the touch, trying to get that clear out on Alpha. Plays it with the wall. Mayo is going to take it right from him to the backboard. In comes Alpha, sends it center. Kind of an awkward touch there. Money trying to get a hold of it, outplaying Crypto, but Tyrant's there, getting shut down by Mayo. That's a shot, saved by Crypto.
GNG Carnage able to break away, but Mayo's going to cause some carnage of his own, trying to take out Tyrant. Slows down that offensive push. Kittic takes out Mayo. Ball pinched down. Still trying to attack that center lane. Carnage looking for the double tack. Tyrant, sadly, his arms are just a bit too short to get that ball stricken down. Instead, popping up at the half-court line. 75 seconds left to go. Alpha off the left post. Mayo is going to try cutting quick. Money picks up the grab bag, sends a chance, looks for a double tap, a bit too high, a bit too far, a bit too fast, and a bit too furious. Gets that ball off and away. 60 seconds left to go. Neither team giving up the first goal fairly easily here, Royal.
Yeah, it's, well, just as you say that, Mayo's gonna score it. Take the first goal of the game with less than 1 minute left of game number 1.
And it's a beautiful shot, too. Just catches that gap. Crypto just a bit out of reach. Tries to catch the ball and play fetch, but sadly will not be able to do so. With 50 seconds gone by, it's going to be Tyrant trying to pick up the ball. Crypto once again finding redemption on the backboard. Christic won't be able to take that opening. Instead, has to scramble. It's going to be Crypto. Goes for the dribble. Tries to go for the ground to air. Gets denied by Alpha. With 30 seconds left to go, can GNG do it? Can they find a goal? Oh, near touch. Breaks away as Agu Money takes him out.
Yep, Money still maintaining possession here. Gets shut down by Crypto. He sends it to the corner. It is up off the ceiling, going down. Tyrant almost gets the shot. Mayo with the shutdown immediately. He is now in possession until K comes along. Turns it around over to Tyrant. It's a shot and it's saved by Money. A Money save, if you will. That was incredible. Alpha keeping it up and out away from his net. Ball is still up, but we are out of time. So the moment that touches, it is over. And there it is. Torrent Storm, a crowned winner for game 1.
What a beautiful last moment play. That shot coming in so close for Carnage was within striking distance, but Agu Money might as well be a credit union because your money will be safe with him. Able to pick up that save, able to send that ball screaming out of the net in order to clear up any shadow of a doubt they will take game 1. Torrent Swarm, very impressive run here and barely able to outshoot Carnage as well. Royal, how did Carnage play so differently? Because I believe you said in the beginning that Carnage was going to take the first goal here, and they were unable to convert on that run. They were unable to convert at all. What is their mindset going into this game 2?
I don't know. I think Carnage looked a little shy. Like, to me, and from what I know from Carnage, they looked a little shy. The offense was just not fully there. I mean, even just looking at the shots, we had 4 shots, you know. There was something compared to the 6 coming from Torrent Swarm. I think Tyrant did a lot. We saw him a lot on defense and didn't see too much, you know, working on the side of Torrent Swarm's side of the field. Couldn't quite get the shots or, you know, put anything in the net. So I'm hoping that they're a little bit more warmed up now and they're not so shy and they can start playing a little more offensively. Start pushing back towards Torrent Swarm here.
Yeah, game 1 nerves always the first thing to go, in my opinion. It makes it more difficult for you to convert and run, especially in a stream match too. Not a lot of players get used to being on a screen. No matter how many viewers are watching, it's always nerve-wracking. Torrent at least wants to get the body block up. They're trying to play that backboard very dangerously. Kitik able to clear this one off and away, but it's not going to be enough as Alpha sinks his teeth into the ball. It's going to be off. Crypto able to out-tackle here. 30 seconds into this so far, bit dangerous for GNG Carnage. I think they still have some of those nerves you were talking about, RoyalT, as we go into this game 2. Trying to start their scoring run. It's going to be Agu Money finding that opening. It's going to be off the post. JD Mayo with the clear.
Kitik taking it down. Mayo getting in the way once again. In comes Crypto, sending it down line. Torrent stop him with a little bit of a back pass. The challenge at midfield. It's going back center. Money with a touch over to Alpha. Back to Money. What a play, outdoing the defense for a second. And another demo coming into play here. And a long clear from Torrent. Mayo's going to get that first touch. It's a shot and it's in.
Beautiful touch here from Mayo as well, just able to find that space, has that perfect opening. Kitik is going to be a bit too far out and tries to get in front of the ball, but sadly just can't find that pinch against the crossbar. Once again, Torrent Swarm continuing their scoring run, now 2 goals up versus GNG Carnage, who have yet to find their first, and it's not a favorable position for them to be in. Torrent sends a pop-up, but Kitik can't react in time, was already recovering back. Just paying attention to the rotations here, it feels like they are a little bit too clustered. They're not getting close enough to each other to help out, but they're also not giving each other space to take advantage of whenever someone's open. Crypto tries to set it up off the pass from Torrent. Kitik sends it down center. Crypto just a bit too low, a bit too slow. Mayo and Money are going to walk away with this one as the third man gets tied up in the net there.
Yeah, just a little bit. Torrent leaving it for Crypto. He pops it up. Up goes Torrent yet again. Off the backboard. Can't quite get the double. It does go center, and Kitik just a little too high there. Crypto getting in the way as third man. Mayo coming around once again. Gets the turnaround. He's up on the wall. Can't get past Torrent. He steals possession. Takes it down. Still sticking with it. Little to no boost in the tank, and was still able to maintain a good distance with the ball there. As it gets cleared to the corner, in comes Torrent yet again. Gets that center. Kitik was up, he gets the touch, but a little too far from the target.
Yeah, that unfortunate bounce out, not working in the favor of Carnage as Kitik takes out JD Mayo, but Agu Money tries to go for the double tap. Alpha tries to drop it down low, but it's going to sail across the goal line. One thing I think is interesting here, Royal, is I feel like GNG Carnage, they are more mechanically talented. I feel like they're looking for a lot of unique shots. However, they're struggling to convert because of these options. While in the meantime, Torrent, they're able to force these rotations to be awkward and misrotate and set each other out where they can just send that long ball in. That allows them that opening, like we saw with JD Mayo in game 1 and Alpha in game 2. It's going to be Torrent taking flight, trying to find an open goal here. It gets blocked out by Agu Money, and instead, with 105 seconds left to go, or 95 seconds left to go, it's still all Torrent right now. They're still in control, even if it is just a 1-goal game.
Yep. A 1 goal will do it, makes all the difference. But that's basically what I was saying, where, you know, if a team knows they need to be on defense, like, they're all going to be there, and you have little to no luck with a solo play. So lots of team plays are needed, or, like I said, those lucky long shots, which we've seen from Mayo, where he just finds that last defender who is back but isn't back enough, you know? So definitely using those to their advantage there. And that is something that GNG is going to have to, like, implement or try and do as well, because it's not really working out for them too well right now.
I think one thing they have to their strength, at least, they're trying to get Torrent to double commit on these aggressive plays. And they found these moments, but they can't really capitalize. They keep getting messed up and caught off guard by the last man. The last man doing a fantastic job, whether it's Money, whether it's Alpha, or JD Mayo. They've been able to clear out that net. But Crypto able to pull away Mayo. It's going to be Kitik. Torrent goes for the bump on one. Instead, finds the opening. Crypto chases down that ball, and like the good boy he is, will send it home.
Yes, exactly. Implementing everything we just talked about. The team plays, the bumps, let's go. This is how to do it. This is what they are known for. Now we have a tie game with 21 seconds left. Here is the show.
We got a matchup with 17 seconds left to go. Crypto sends it up high, but instead dropping it down low, Kick will get kicked out. 10 seconds left with one more shot. Crypto takes a chance, and it's going to be down to the ground. Royal, we're heading to OT right now. Who do you think takes the next shot?
Oh my goodness, a quick one. I'm just going to go with Torrent, just real quick, because I don't know how long this overtime's going to last, but... Let's see.
Alpha sending up the ball, tries to drop it down to the side. Instead, it's going to go back to Tyrant. Tyrant cut off guard by JD Mayo. They're not able to play out of the corner. Kitik has to get back post, but Crypto's in good position. Instead, it's going to send it upfield. 30 seconds gone by so far in this OT, and it's going to be Tyrant and Crypto both playing together. Nice pass out to Crypto. GNG starting their scoring run, trying to find an offensive drive. It's back to Alpha on the blue side.
Yep, in comes Money with a catch, and Kitik with a challenge, sends it to the other side. Alpha's already up, waiting for that. In comes Mayo with the backup, taking it down line all the way to the corner. It is bouncing, going center. Kitik's gonna knock it back, send it right back where it came from. Nice challenge once again in that corner as it gets cleared out. Tyrant with the long shot to an open net, and that's in.
Beautiful challenge from Tyrant. Catches Agu Money off guard and then just powers through. Alpha goes up to help out, but that will be their doom. GNG able to take game 2, 2-1 in OT, and they have to be pretty proud of themselves there.
Oh yeah. Definitely big time. Now we see a little bit more, well, a lot more actually. A big improvement on the shots taken for GNG Carnage in this game. Literally 10 shots to 3 saves versus Torrent Swarm's 5 shots. And they had a lot more defense, definitely. That's 7 saves for them. So, pretty opposite. Very good game indeed. And still only to come out on top with just, again, 1 point difference. These aren't super high scoring games, which is how you know this is a great matchup. And these are two very, I don't want to say equal teams, but a good matchup nonetheless of, you know, equally skilled players facing off.
I'm inclined to agree, and I think one thing to look at with how GNG played just now is they played more aggressive as well. They were starting to find their stride at that halfway mark through game 2. In fact, I'd even go so far to say they went through about maybe 3.5 minutes to get to that point. And they have to be really happy with how they performed there because they followed through with exactly what you said. They started working a bit more together on the team plays. They were looking for passing plays. They were trying to set each other up a bit more. Just that demo and bump attempt from Tyrant in order to open up the path to Kick. And even if he did get shut down, Crypto able to follow through. That was a fantastic way to start that play. But now with game 3 on the line, whichever team wins here will be on match point. It's going to be a tie game. We're in best of 3 territory. Who takes it all? Royal, let's take it away here.
Yes, we got Crypto with a shot, and Mayo got that save as Mayo gets the small clear here. Crypto still on the ball, sticking with it, trying to get it on the other side. Money's going to come in, get a nice center. Mayo trying to go for that read. Kitik does get the touch to take it down. Still trying to maintain it. In comes Tyrant, gets the center, but Kitik just didn't have the boost to keep up, so Crypto incoming. Nice pinch to the corner. Alpha's gonna get a small clear. Crypto taking out Money, and it's basically an open net right now. There it is, Tyrant scoring. First goal of the game.
Beautiful setup here too. I love Tyrant's fake out on JD Mayo and then just a far side flick just to keep it away from Agu Money. And Tyrant's going to start taking command of the field here just with the mind games against their opposition, just with the way they've been able to challenge and improve that pressure for Carnage, putting on his own show of Carnage really. taking them out. It's going to put them up the lead for the first time. They're taking the first goal for the first time this series. However, they cannot let their foot off the gas. They need to continue playing pressure, and they need to confirm their touches in the corner too, as Alpha tries to find a pass out to Money. It does not work out. A Hail Mary of a shot from Tyrant, blocked down by JD Mayo. Ball still center. Kicktick just trying to play the 50, wants to keep that ball under control, will be able to do so as they continue to put pressure on the side of Torrent Swarm.
Yeah. Here we go, Alpha. Taking control for half a second, gets it on the other side, but just leaves it. Kitzig with a long clear to the corner. Money getting in the way. Mayo not able to get that connect. Kitzig once again popping it up, but Alpha's gonna steal it straight over to Tyrant though. Again, a long clear. They are getting such big clears, full field basically, and Crypto's gonna finish the play, throwing it past one defender. What a play.
What a beautiful setup too. Kicktick able to get that final touch, fakes it out off the backboard, and then sets it up for Crypto. Agu Money wasn't prepared, was ready for that double tap, ready for that negative angle, and instead got dusted at that center line, ball going right behind him. We get to see Carnage really step up in this moment, and I think they got rid of that nervousness from game one. And they want to progress. They want to get to the semifinals and then close out at the grand final stage. With less than 3 minutes to go so far, Carnage has shown that they can adapt and play to a higher level. Now the question is for Torrent Swarm, will they be able to find some more chances as Agu Money will cash in on that tip from Alpha Dog?
The answer is yes. They found it. So with an awkward touch, setting up Money with an open goal. Total capitalization right there. Bringing us to our next kickoff. Carnage gonna take it straight to the corner. Mayo with the first touch on defense. Trying to get it out, gets a long clear, but Six gonna shut it down pretty quickly. They're back on offense. Ball's just center, a challenge. Keeping it on Torrent side of the field though. Mayo up off the ceiling, sends it down. Alpha's there. Kind of a long shot, a little too high. Crypto read that like a book and sent it right back to the corner. And it's center! Tyrant with the shot hits the post. Oh no. It's like hitting the post as well. Tyrant tried to have a follow-up shot, just couldn't quite do it. Crypto getting shut down by Alpha. Tyrant back in possession.
Nervousness might be coming back here because the way those shots were set up and the way they tried to rush them down as if they were trying to zone them out a little bit further makes it a little bit frustrating for GNG Carnage. I feel like they weren't able to find their opening, and with Agu Money now trying to drop this ball center, dangerous place to leave whether you're playing Rocket League or Rematch, and I am yelling at a specific person who did this to me today as JD Mayo drops that ball down center, sends it back, doesn't really have help in that moment. But it's going to take a little bit more tightness and control from Torrent Swarm in order to find their chance. Kicktick able to kill that ball, sends it high off to the sky. JD Mayo on the bar. Tyrant tries to follow through. There's the tie game. 71 seconds left. Torrent Swarm 2-2, looking to try to take over the Carnage.
I'm hoping you were right about the nerves setting in for Carnage, and it's not the fact that they got comfortable and they thought that they had this in the bag. Because that's harder to get out of than shaking off the nerves. So, let's see. Tyrant back in possession. Off the backboard. Gets the double, but not quite the angle. Crypto missing the connect. And Kitzig off the backboard yet again. Tyrant with this shot. Mayo was prepared. Keeping it away from his net here.
Pop up from Kitzig. Able to get over one. Doesn't have a lot of boost. That side boost will not be coming back anytime soon, at least in that 2 seconds he went by. Tyrant goes up, able to rise above the competition, able to find that elevation and get that touch. Sends it out to the corner. It's a 1v1 between Crypto. Crypto's going to give it up, get the demo, but Mayo's going to take out Tyrant, canceling Crypto's plans, and sadly, it's going to be Kicktick not able to break through. Agu Money on the revive will be able to break off that backboard defense. With 15 seconds left, maybe looking at another OT. Crypto, boom and clear, far side. Tries to keep it under control. Balls towards the net. Kitik needs to get this touch. Is challenging Agu Money. It's going to be upside. Agu drops it down center. One more chance. Tyrant off the backboard sends it down to ground. Alpha to Mayo. Mayo off the left post. OT for the second time this series, Royal.
I was so close. I don't know if I want to say that's scary or not. Depends who you're voting for, but that was very, very close. There you go. Alpha back in charge, gets the long shot, and that's just in. There it is.
Oop, there it is, as we like to say. Just a bit of a gap in the defense. Tyrant wanted to challenge, realized didn't have the space, tried to go back, and Kitik just was a bit too far away, no boost in the tank. Now on match point, Torrent Swarm looking to close out the series in their favor and trying to knock out the GNG Carnage as well. Bit of a tighter matchup, and while Carnage had that momentum at the very beginning, I feel like they slowed down and started getting into their own heads a bit too much. What do you say, Royal?
No, I agree. Like I said, you know, I'm hoping it was more so just nerves than, you know, getting comfortable and confident and, you know, having to work around that and get past that mentality. So, definitely did look like that, especially at the end, and maybe a little bit of panic coming in. It looked a little bit more like game one. You know, everyone's kind of everywhere. We don't see Carnage as tight-knit, and it kind of just fell apart a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like even with all the assists on the side of Torrent Swarm, I feel like they could have been able to just take advantage here, because a lot of those passing plays, it was Carnage just panicking a bit more on that back line. They did not feel like they were securing the ball that well. Carnage taking all the time in that 60 seconds to basically talk to his team and try to calm everyone down. You know, Tyrant really wants this team to progress. They want to continue on. Torrent Swarm want to get that get back against their fellow team that's also in the Elite League. And you know it's going to be a tight matchup as they try to find that Game 5 situation as we go into Game 4. Match point for Torrent Swarm, and Crypto, unable to find that goal, tries to find a body instead. Will be unable to find purchase there.
Great thought. Just couldn't quite execute the plan there, but they still are on offense. We have a touch from Crypto over to Kitik, sending it to the wall. It's going to be a bouncing play here as Mayo couldn't get the touch off of it. Tyrant with the shot off the post, and it's still a bouncing play. Crypto with the shot, saved by Alpha. Last second touch just outside the net as he gets shut down by Kitik yet again, and Mayo is there as third man. Low boost in the tank, still challenging and doing what he can with what he has.
I love that challenge. A bit of a double commit on the side of Torrent Swarm, but unable to take advantage of it. It's going to be GNG Carnage trying to break away. Tyrant chasing after the ball, gets a body instead of a ball. Alpha Dog put to rest. Instead, Kitik fights for the 50. Loses out. It's going to be JD Mayo. He's going to pick this ball up, goes out of the corner, can't confirm the touch. It's going to be Crypto sending it over to Kitik. Kitik off to the corner, Tyrant's at center. Tyrant is looking for a pass. Crypto here to help out. Bit of a double commit once again. That panic is setting in on the Carnage side. You know they need to calm down and communicate about where they're going to be placed. Tyrant try and take advantage and sends that ball back up half court. Ooh.
Yeah, but the ball is kind of into no man's land in the corner there till Money comes along, tries to get that center. Kitik getting in his way immediately. Shot from Mayo, saved by Tyrant. Alpha trying to take a shot at it. He gets shut down by Crypto. There's that fast action happening. This is what we're used to. This is what we're here for. Mayo going for that center. In comes Alpha, and that's in. First goal of the game.
Beautiful setup from Alpha, recognizes where Tyrant is, and because Tyrant hesitates in that moment trying to get a better touch on the ball, Alpha immediately dog piles onto him, pinches that ball off the tee and sends it inside. And now with that goal for the first time, Tyrant Swarm are going to look to close this one out. They were able to end game one at a 1-goal lead just by playing a bit more defensively and shutting down any offensive chances for GNG Carnage. However, if GNG is going to take game two, they need to play a bit more aggressive and they need to be mindful of their spacing and positioning. But I love that touch from KidTick, able to set up Crypto, ball off to the opposite side. Tyrant sends it off to the backboard. Can anyone follow through? Denied. Mayo able to dodge the bump from Tyrant. No one's over on the left corner. Ball still under control for Carnage.
It is. Mayo gets that clear, popping up off the back wall. Crypto with the touch. Alpha's there for the read. Turns it around. In comes nobody. Tyrant misses the connect. Is it there? He gets shut down by Money. Lots of offensive pressure here. It's looking dangerous. Mayo to capitalize on the defense's weird structure here. Not really knowing what to do, kind of getting stuck there. Crypto outplaying himself, Tyrant flipping the wrong way, and KidTick just not back in time, as well as little to no boost for every single player. Unfortunate.
Extremely unfortunate. You have to think about the positioning there, but they can't dwell on it now as Agu Money will take advantage of the positioning. Based off that kickoff from Alpha, just finds that opening, gives himself the feed out of the corner, and then drives it home. Tyrant not able to react in time. 3-goal difference before GNG Carnage can find a chance to catch up. It is still winnable. However, they need to play a bit more aggressive. I'd love to see a few more bumps and demos that can be taken advantage of as JD Mayo sends this ball upfield. Tyrant down to Crypto. Crypto on target. It's going to get chipped, and it's going to be just enough to bring it inside. Will this be the drive that sends GNG Carnage back on top?
I would love to see another close game, so without saying too much, I'll leave it at that. Bringing us to our next kickoff, though. Crypto driving straight through it like the ball's his enemy. Tyrant trying to get a read on that. Got a small touch off the corner of his car. Wasn't quite enough to redirect the ball, though. Alpha getting in the way. Just outside of mid. Tyrant with the long clear. Up goes Mayo. Gets the touch, knocking it back. Crypto with the first touch off of Mayo. Trying to get that center. Is he going to play by himself or set up his teammates? Tyrant incoming. Up goes KidTick. He gets the shot, but Alpha was already there, shutting it down. Crypto with the catch. In comes Money. Sends it off the wall. Tyrant with the shot off the crossbar. And it is sent out once again. We're back on Carnage's side for a moment. KidTick sending it back straight to Alpha. He pops it up. In comes Mayo with the shot. Crypto with the save. Sends it right to the corner. Tyrant going for that challenge on Alpha. And KidTick's gonna help him out, clear it all the way downfield. Gets past Money, and Alpha's there on the wall waiting.
Now, JD Mayo, boom, and clears off to the right wing. Alpha's in a good position, just needs to send to the far side, and will do so. Great clear out from JD Mayo, takes advantage. Everyone's up front, yelling, barking at the front door for Carnage. And sadly, someone comes in, drops a package at the backside. And that's going to be how Torrent Swarm looks like they will be taking this series 1-4. With only 45 seconds left, though, that is plenty of time to mount a comeback. But they need to play quick, they need to play fast, they need to play aggressive, and that could punish them as well. But sometimes you gotta throw everything, including the kitchen sink, as KidTick sends it for the upper 90, gets denied by Alpha Dog, the guard dog, who locks it down. 25 seconds left. KidTick sees the ball sailing over him. Tyrant drops it back. It's towards the net. KidTick sends it back to Tyrant. But with 15 seconds left, Royal, I think this is going to close out in Torrent's favor, and they're going to be pretty happy with the result.
Oh yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be winning this and being able to move forward, especially in playoffs? Like, would get it if it was, you know, just a regular season game, but no, this is quarterfinals here, so I would be happy too if I was in, you know, Alpha, Mayo, or Money's position right about now.
And it's lower quarterfinals too, so this is double elimination territory. So sadly, GNG Carnage will be taken down and will have to end their season here. But they had a fantastic season run, though, able to come in 7-5. They were the number 6 seed and still fight their way across some very good teams such as Militia, Torrent Swarm themselves, coming out against the folks over at SP Galaxy and then breaking through just to get to this point right now. However, Torrent Swarm looking to get that run back against the Phantoms. You know they are looking forward to that best of 7 matchup once they can break through the lower finals. But with that in mind, Royal, thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast. It has been a fantastic time. Anything else you would like to say to the folks?
I just want to say thank you everyone who came out to support the teams, players, or the league, or the casters. We appreciate it as much as they do, and I just want to give a big thank you to you as well for co-casting with me, having me be here with you, and shout out to CSC, great league, and they're doing great things, so can't wait for the next game.
Absolutely. It is still ongoing as well. There will be more action to come throughout this week and next as well. So keep an eye on Twitter over at Car Soccer City, on X, actually. I guess I should say X. I don't like saying X. But with that in mind, folks, thank you all so very much for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you once again to RoyalT for joining us. Folks, if you have not given a chance, go check out twitch.tv/Lil_RoyalT992. Drop her a follow. Check out her action as well, because she also casts and broadcasts matches as well. And with that in mind, thank you so much for joining us, folks. And if you are following this on YouTube, please drop a like, drop a subscribe. Let me know if you want me to cover any of your games coming up. With that, thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.